What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm here for the news. And recently, I've been covering this Bryan Kohberger case, where he killed 4 Idaho students, and there were 2 more roommates in the house who were left alive. Now, I have made a couple of accusations towards Bryan Kohberger, and one of them that these killings was ritualistic in nature. And number 2, let's take a look. I've made 1 video right here, 2, 3, 4. I made 4 videos on Bryan from the very beginning when this happened in November, I think it was. I've been covering this case. And in every single one of these videos, I said one of the ways they caught Bryan Kohberger was through social media. Now, over the last few months, they never talked about that. Not at all. They never talked about his social media posts. Not at all. Why? Because that's the number one way they use to catch killers now. Because people tell on themselves now. You can predict future killers. 2002, they had a movie called The Minority Report. Some of you guys may be familiar with this movie. It's with Tom Cruise, an action thriller. And then the premise of the movie is that they can use these algorithms, which in this movie, there were like these people who was hooked up to computers. And they could predict who the future killers was and who was going to kill, when and what time, to the exact date. Now, I always say this. Movies and TV shows, they tell the truth. The news, they tend to lie a lot. They only tell the truth when it's convenient, and they lie all the goddamn time. But this movie, The Minority Report, is accurate as hell. They can predict who the future killers are through people's social media posts now. If you don't understand how strong these algorithms is now, have you ever had your phone in your hand and you was thinking about something and you looked on your fucking phone and that shit was right there, something that maybe you wanted to buy or somewhere you was thinking about going or something you was thinking about doing? These algorithms can predict the future. Now, Bryan Kohberger, I'm finna put my tinfoil Negro Damas cap on. I think, personally, this is my theory. This is not factual what I'm about to say right here. I think the FBI, CIA, whatever government group you want to say, they already knew Bryan Kohberger was a murderer and a killer. Because they'll talk about his social media, but they don't talk about who he's in contact with on social media. These social media posts, I've said this in I've covered all the mass shootings on my channel. Every mass shooting, I said, the social media gives away everything. They already know who these people are. Because people get on social media and basically it's like talking to a therapist for some of these people. They spill everything. All of the beans is all over the floor. There's no secrets. But I think, personally, there are people within the government who already knew who Bryan Kohberger was. They already knew what he was capable of. Because, listen to me, when you have serial killers and you have people who commit crimes, you guys, there are people, obviously, now I'm speaking factual. There are people who have correlations from one case to the next, especially when you're dealing with people who kill in mass and people who kill serially. What you have is you'll say, okay, a serial killer posted this. And then another serial killer, he posted this. Another serial killer, he posted. They might have posted 25 things, but 3 of these things, each one of these serial killers posted. Common sense, this is where the algorithms automatically kick in and be like, okay, this guy posted 3 things that all these other 3 serial killers posted. Sometimes it could be more than that, but I'm just giving you an example. You look at that shit and you say, damn, he did this, he posted that, he posted. They already know Bryan Kohberger. Bryan Kohberger is a true definition of a minority report. Let's take a look at this clip.
Now to chilling new details about the Idaho murder suspect. In his own words, social media posts believed to be Bryan Kohberger's dating back years. Mola Langi has the details for it this morning. Good morning, Mola.
Well, good morning, Michael. These online posts appear to go back about a decade when Kohberger was a teenager, one of his former friends, also providing some new insight this morning. This morning, newly uncovered social media posts painting a clearer picture of who Bryan Kohberger was as a teen, years before he was charged with killing 4 University of Idaho college students. The New York Times first reporting on posts believed to be written by Kohberger between 2009 and 2012, where he shared struggles with mental health and thoughts of suicide. Kohberger.
And as you can see on the screen a while ago, let's go back a second. Let's go back just a brief second. As you can see, I want you to look at this right here. Now, when people post these type of things, it is a plethora of information. But it's a reason why I constantly battle my demons. This guy is a Luciferian and a Satanist. If anybody watched the Netflix series with Jeffrey Dahmer, what did Jeffrey Dahmer have in his house? One of the first things you seen that they made sure you saw. He had a satanic Bible in there. He was a Luciferian. All of these killers, pedophiles, these people are Luciferians. Look at this, say, no emotion. I have nothing. Can you relate? Who is he talking to when he says, can you relate? These people be in communication with other people. There's a lot of MK Ultra mind control shit going on. I've covered that in other videos. Look, when I say something's theoretical or my opinion or conspiracy, I'll tell you. When I'm speaking factual, I'm telling you it's factual. This shit I'm speaking now is complete factual. These people be into Luciferian ideologies, Wiccans, all type of wacky ass shit. Let me keep the video going.
Posts believed to be written by Kohberger between 2009 and 2012, where he shared struggles with mental health and thoughts of suicide. Kohberger writing in 2011, as I hug my family, I look into their faces, I see nothing. It is like I'm looking at a video game, but less. Kohberger.
Now, he says he looks in his family's face, he sees nothing. He feels no love, he feels no emotion. Was he raised in a Luciferian household? What is his family's religious beliefs? What happened to him in his childhood? Did he have his mind wiped? These are questions that we have to ask, you guys. That's why I love, and I said this in other videos, we all love playing couch detective. We all love trying to get to the bottom of crimes. That's why people love crime shows so much. That's why people watch the First 48 or the TV shows like Snapped. People love to try to figure out why, who, when, where, what's going on, and all of the above.
Also writing, he experienced depression, a constant thought of suicide, crazy thoughts, and delusions of grandeur, saying, I feel no emotion, and along with the depersonalization, I can say and do whatever I want with little remorse. Right.
And how do you get to that point? That's the question, you guys. I'm gonna let the videos roll, but each one of these statements is so important. I have to stop the video because I feel no emotion. And along with depersonalization, I can say and do whatever I want with little remorse. That's a demonic spirit that's on him. And a lot of that shit stems from childhood.
And Kohberger was someone who was struggling a lot in his teenage years about, what was going on in his mind and trying to figure. And
I did say in the very first, all these videos, or well, when they caught him and said, when I first looked at him, I said, this is not his first time harming somebody. This ain't his first time killing. There's no way. He started out torturing small animals, and from there on, he moved his way on up. He had already hurt or harmed somebody, and now what he did was he killed 4 people at one time. So it's time to really moan back in. The experiment is over.
Figure it out and how to resolve it.
Kohberger commiserating with other users about a neurological condition he says he suffered from called visual snow, where a person sees dots across their line of sight, similar to static on a television. Posting in 2010, "My mind is never not on visual snow. This whole thing has made me crazy. I feel like my life is pointless because people can think about times with parents, childhood memories, and be happy, and I won't be able to."
Now my question is, you posting all this, nobody's like concerned? Nobody's like, hey, this motherfucker needs some help. Hey, this guy is crazy. Hey, stay away from this guy. How does all of this shit get posted and he's able to go to all these different schools? What's the vetting process to get into Washington State or wherever he was at college at? I know he went to several different colleges, but I know he's at Washington State as of recent. This shit is crazy. That's why I say this whole thing is ritualistic.
He's talking on one hand about the visual symptoms that he's dealing with, but at the same time, there really is a sense of desperation.
In 2012, in his account's final post on the forum, Kohberger writing he finally accepted his condition, saying, quote, "It doesn't scare me anymore." Kohberger graduating from high school and college, becoming a PhD student in...
So, listen to me. Once he got to the point where he said he's no longer concerned. Let's look at it one more time. Listen to it one more time.
Kohberger writing he finally accepted his condition, saying, quote, "It doesn't scare me anymore."
That's when the killing probably began. That's when he accepted, I'm a demon. I'm a killer. I'm of the devil. I'll slice and dice and kill anything with no remorse. I just don't care. Once he said that and posted that, that's why I say the FBI, listen to me. I have to say alleged, but alleged 1000% knew who he was and knew what he was doing. You cannot tell me they did, because the algorithms automatically tell you because they can make the correlation from one person to the next.
Kohberger graduating from high school and college, becoming a PhD student in criminal justice at Washington State University before he was taken into custody December 30th after a raid at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. Police claiming DNA found in the trash there tied him to the scene of the gruesome Idaho murders. Overnight, his former attorney in Pennsylvania, Jason Labar, telling ABC News he is still in touch with Kohberger's family and says his mother is still supportive of her son.
She would first and foremost put out her heartfelt sympathies for the 4 families. She prays for them every day and can't imagine the situation that they're in. But on the flip side of that, she's obviously supportive and she wants to see how the case unfolds for her son, really pressing the presumption of innocence to anyone that will listen.
A Kohberger charged with 4 counts of murder has not entered a plea. He is currently being held without bail and due back in court in June, Michael.
Now, don't get me wrong. He will have his day in court, and that don't mean it ain't a bunch of holes in this case. And that don't mean he doesn't have a legit fight. I mean, the state doesn't have a legit fight on their hands. They do. This guy's a killer. There's no doubt about it. Everything about him, his look, his glaze, his actions, his mannerisms, this is a killer. Everything that he's posted on social media. That's why I kept saying in all the videos when nobody else on YouTube was talking about his social media, I was. Because I know the social media is the Minority Report. The social media is a dead giveaway. It's a prediction of future behavior.
All right, Mola, thank you so much. And let's bring in ABC News contributor, former FBI agent, Brad Garrett. Thank you for joining us this morning, Brad. And Brad, you look at these social media posts, one of the themes, it seems to be a lack of empathy. Did that surprise you?
Not in the least. Michael, when you look at cases similar to this one, where there's a lot of pre-planning, in his case, maybe even months, if not at least weeks, it becomes a fascination, it becomes an obsession, it becomes your identity. And so what happens is you take that sort of obsession and compulsion and you overlay it with not having any feelings. I mean, think about this, Michael. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. And if you feel that way, it's very difficult for you to have any guilt or remorse. And so these types of killings really become who the person is on many levels, which is, obviously very sad, but a real, true reality.
Yeah, but what about the visual problem he reported?
And like I said, the address, 1122, Freemasonry, 33. A lot of stuff is ritualistic. I think the door number was number 6. Look, that's theoretical. I mean, when I say that, when I say anything like that, I always say I preference it. But there's a lot of ritualistic killing going on in the United States and around the world. But I like to focus on the United States because this is where we live at.
He suffered from. Have you encountered anything like that before?
I've read about that before. Now, does that really play into what he's been charged with? I actually doubt it. Do I think it added to maybe his isolation? I mean, folks that get into these types of crimes have really low self-esteem. It could have aggravated that. But I'm not sure that we could pull up anything and take it away that would then say this kid would not have turned out like he may have.
And Brad, investigator, they sealed the search warrant for Kohberger department. The judge finding, quote, premature public disclosure of the details will create a serious and imminent threat to law enforcement. Why would they do that?
So I have actually done that in cases. You leave them sealed because you're not finished investigating. We don't know if they found the knife. Is there other pieces of information that link him to this crime?
And let me say this before I forget. They found that knife sheath on the bed. To kill somebody and leave a knife sheath on the bed, I mean, in the moment, maybe it's possible, but to me, that knife sheath was left there on purpose. Now, but once again, I'm telling you right now, I'm putting on my tinfoil Negro Diamonds cap right now. My tinfoil kufi. I'm putting it on right now. But to leave a knife sheath on the bed, come on now. Use your common sense. Ritualistic.
And so that's why you wait before you release.
Brad Garrett, thank you for your time this morning. Appreciate you.
Other pieces of information.
Like I said, you guys,
him to this crime.
this whole thing,
Wait before you release.
Brad.
1122 equals 33. Maybe that has nothing to do with it. I always leave room where I can be wrong, but a lot of times I'm not. Just like I predicted, they found this motherfucker using that social. Once they got their guy, the first thing they did was looked at his social media. Who is this guy? What is this guy? What is he into? What does he do? What kind of person is he? Man, they start reading that shit. They was like, oh my God, yes. This is our guy. But there's people deep within the government. They already knew who this man was. They already knew what he'd been doing. They already knew what he was capable of. I bet my bottom dollar on that. No doubt about it, you guys. No doubt about it. Sports, life, politics, TV. I'm Samuel Copper. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. I just took your ass on a time cruise. Minority Report. Algorithm. Goddamn ride. Peace.